now in an area with a karst landform, so we have encountered a lot of difficulties and challenges during the drilling through project of this tunnel. Today we have invited Mr. Gao, the Deputy Director of this construction project. So, Mr. Gao, today I have prepared some questions for you. First of all, could you please say something about the big picture, the general situation about this Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway tunnel? Actually, this Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway is one of the important parts of this great network of high-speed railway transportation of our country. This number 3 tunnel is located at the Huanjiang County of Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region. The expected speed for the railway to run is 350 kilometers per hour, and this total distance of the section of the tunnel is more than 480 kilometers. And the total budget for this project is 37.6 billion RMB, and we have a calendar for the construction of 6 years. So this is a section for the train to run at a speed of 350 kilometers per hour. And according to your introduction, this Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway has a total period of construction of 6 years. That is rather long period of construction. And today, for the number 3 tunnel to be drilled through today, this means that we have completed 80% of the project of construction, or even 85%. So, Director Gao, I have another question for you. For this Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway, after its completion of construction for the Guiyang or Guizhou, as well as the Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, what is the significance of this network of transportation? First of all, I have mentioned that great network of high-speed railway transportation with 8 vertical lines and 8 horizontal lines. This is also the very first high-speed railway line for the Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region. So from now on, we can expect to see that Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region stands at the crossroads of so many provinces and regions, and around the Huanjiang County and other neighboring counties, they're about to embrace an era of very fast development, and we can expect to see a very fast development of the cities and the villages. People can see their livelihood much more improved in the future. We can also expect to see more passengers and travelers coming to this area, and we can embrace more investors to this region too. And also, according to your introduction just now, Mr. Gao, from Guiyang to Nanning, after the completion of this project, the travel time required is only 2 hours and 30 minutes. What about now? Because currently there's no direct high-speed train to connect Guiyang City and Nanning City. We have to take the corresponding transfer trains. So there's no direct train transportation routines for the 2 cities. And we can see how big is the significance once this project is completed. And also for the other counties and villages along this Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway, currently they are not touched by any lines of the high-speed railway. After the completion of this Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway project, so in the future, people living there in the neighboring areas, they can be enjoying this highly convenient network of transportation. And another question for you, Mr. Gao, is that for this whole Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway, we have invested almost 40 billion RMB into it, and we have to wait 6 years to complete the total construction project. And we can understand that the level of difficulties is quite high because we are now working in a karst landform. Could you please say something about this highlights of the project? Here, 70% of the landform belongs to the karst landform, and we have made significant breakthroughs. First of all, we have a very high percentage of the breached tunnel, and this ratio reaches more than 90%. In order to improve the efficiency of the construction of the tunnels, we have invented a lot of new machineries in order to do the drilling through work automatically. We have also innovated more than 50 items of inventions. With all those invented machineries, we can guarantee the quality and also the efficiency of our undertakings. And we have also created the very first smart factory in the country for this purpose of the tunnel drilling through work. In this intelligent and smart factory, we have significantly improved the working rate and also the efficiency. And another thing is that we are actually doing the construction work inside a protective area. And we have to pay attention to the environmental and ecological well-being. So here, we have invented new methods of the construction of this project. For example, for certain sections, we can even eliminate the use of the scaffolding during the construction of the project. Yes, indeed, it's very important to pay attention to the ecosystem and also the environment around. This is a very challenging job, and we have succeeded with our technologies. It's the first time for us to apply this kind of practices in Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, and it's also a quite new and advanced technology for the whole country. And again, in the Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, around this Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway project, we have set a lot of new records. For example, first time for us to combine the construction of the high-speed railway with the protection of the environment. For example, we set up some platforms and also used a lot of technologies to avoid the damage of the environment. We also have the early alarming system and also the warming system based on the big data and also the intelligent platforms. This time, we have actually set up an example called the experience of the Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway construction. We have also introduced our experiences to other similar projects. Nowadays, gradually, we have improved the quality and efficiency of our equipment. The better equipment we can have, then the more progress we can make. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Gao, for your kind introduction. And now I'd like to go a little bit deeper into the tunnel. And now I'd like to give you a break. Thank you, Mr. Gao. And now we are moving towards the tunnel. Until now, we are still at the beginning part of this tunnel, about 20 to 30 meters away from the entrance. And yesterday, during our preliminary work, during the preparation phase, we have moved into the core part of this tunnel. Inside, the concentration of air is very low and the visibility is also quite limited. Earlier this morning, we have completely drilled through the tunnel 3 and we have sent journalists inside to take some footage, and now I'd like to share with you some footage videos, and that is amazing. And now you're watching the earlier footage we have collected. As we have mentioned before, this section of the Tunnel 3 is one of the critical control projects of the Guiyang-Nanning High-Speed Railway. Today we have invited Mr. Ji, the chief engineer of this project. Please say hi to everyone. I'm Jiuwanshan. I'm the chief engineer of this project. Now we are also showing the earlier footage to people. For the drilling through of the tunnel number 3, we are very happy about the project. After 3 years of hard efforts, today we have successfully drilled through this tunnel number 3. And from the footage, we can see that it's not once for all project. Actually, we have divided this drilling through undertakings into several stages. Yes, considering this karst landform, we have to pay attention to the land construction, and this whole tunnel has a length of 2,763 meters. Considering the karst landform, we have to be quite agile during our undertakings. As we have seen this morning, we have to create some steps, and over the stairs we can do the drilling off one after the another. So we know that usually good things take time. We have to take several steps. And if we want to dig a mountain through, we want to drill a mountain through, how many steps will we take? Because now we are working at the Jiuwanshan mountain area, the geographic condition is really challenging. First of all, we have to do the measuring. We are using the GPS equipment. However, when we are inside the Jiuwanshan mountain area, then we cannot be connected with too many satellites. We can only use 4 to 5 satellites, and that's not enough. That cannot help us to get the precise enough information. So we have to do the artificial measurement. That means we have to make a tour around the mountain time and time again so that we can set up the grid. We are also using some handy machineries to do the measurement of the whole area. So that is the first step, the measurement of the environment. We have to know the controlled network, the whole grid, and then we have to set the diameter of this tunnel, and also we have to make an evaluation of the total landform. We know here we are surrounded by this karst landform, and there are lots of karst caves. For example, that entrance hole. There are lots of falling stones, and we cannot just enter the cave or enter the tunnel like this. So we have to do multiple entrances at the same time. Currently, we have successfully drilled through the tunnel number 3. And Mr. Ji, as far as I know, sometimes to dig out a tunnel, we can do it from 2 different directions, and we meet halfway. And for this tunnel, we can only go inside the mountain through 1 direction. First of all, the first step is the measurement. And what about the second step? Second is what I called the controlled grid or the control network. And then we have to do the sampling, and then also the consolidation of the framework. We also have to take care of the falling stones. Once the environment is ensured, then we can start to invite those great machineries inside. We have the level 1 platform and level 2 platform for work. We also have the 3D robot arms, and also the other machineries to help us to complete the whole construction work. We also have applied a lot of methods of excavation. For example, we are using the explosives and the other machineries. And we're also applying the concrete. The robot arms have helped a lot during the construction. You have mentioned the cement. We have noticed that around the ceiling area, the whole structure has been consolidated thanks to the utilization of the cement. So this is to make sure that the whole ceiling would not fall down and the security can be ensured inside this tunnel. Yes, indeed. We have to ensure a very safe environment for the workers. So, first of all, we have to do a preliminary consolidation of the ceiling. Once we make sure that the whole ceiling is in very solid structure, we have to repeat the drainage and also the waterproof protection measures. We know water can sometimes be damaging to the whole construction. With the water running down or the pressure-bearing water, it can create a very huge damage to the whole construction project. For example, the water sometimes with enough pressure can crack the whole ceiling down. After the drainage and waterproof measure installation, we are doing the second round of gas experiments. It's not only part of the structural requirement, but also it's one of the consideration of the high-speed railway daily operation. And also for the lines and also the wires necessary for the running of the high-speed railways, we have to leave some space for us to bury all those pipelines and also the electricity wires and the other equipments inside. And this is the power system. Some of them are in suspension, some others are buried in ground. All those are engineering requirements. Thank you very much. And according to the introduction of the chief engineer, Mr. Ji, there are generally two steps. First of all, it's the investigation of the environment, to study carefully the environment, to do the measurement. And second is the drilling through of the tunnel number 3. It sounds easy. However, we can imagine how difficult that is. The whole length of this tunnel number 3 is 2,763 meters. So how much time have we spent in the excavation and drilling work of this tunnel? We have started our work by September 2018, so until now it's more than 3 years. So we have excavated and drilled about 3,763 meters for 3 years. That is about 3 to 4 meters per day. If imagine we are not working in this extreme condition with a karst landform, normally what speed can we expect to have? With the gray storm, every day the daily progress can be 208 meters per day and 240 meters per month. And now because we are struggling with the karst caves, the progress has been greatly reduced. One of the greatest challenge for our tunnel number 3, we have spent almost 3 months to deal with one single karst cave. And you should also know that the karst caves differ one from another. So for each single one of them, we have to adopt a tailored method and solution to consolidate the whole structure and to make sure the safe environment for the future. And now I would like to show you some footage collected earlier. And this footage are collected and filmed by the drones, so you can know better what kind of environment we are in and how challenging it is for our project to go on. Again, we are now surrounded by the karst mountains and the karst landforms in general. The conditions are extremely difficult for the workers to progress. And another question for you, Mr. Ji. When we encounter the karst cave and also the underground river as well as the other limitations inside the mountains, what kind of treatment or solutions can we propose? For those extremely high-risk areas like the underwater and also the karst caves, we have to be very careful about the treatment of the case. For example, we have the forecast technology, the geographic forecast. For example, the geographic study, the geographic investigation, and also the drilling method, the preliminary drilling method in order to know the things that are waiting for us ahead, and also the other forecast methods so that we can grasp the bigger picture of this whole project. We can expect the long-term development and also the short-term progress for this whole project to go, so we can know what is lying ahead 30 meters away. We also have the TSP. TSP could enable a forecast of 100 meters. We also have the geographic radar. We also have this horizontal drill that can help us to see what is lying ahead about 50 meters away. So all those are very useful resources and equipment to help us know what kind of obstacles are waiting for us and what kind of preparations could we make for them, what kind of measures could we adopt. Anyway, we have to think ahead and also to go through with the real-time in-field investigations and come up with all kinds of tailored solutions like the waterproof and the other treatments. Yesterday, we already visited the spot. We have gone inside the core area of this tunnel number 3. Yesterday, there's still 3 meters left to be drilled through, and this morning we have completed the drilling through work of the tunnel. Compared to the outer area, the core area of the tunnel can give us a lot of challenges and difficulties. For example, you will have some problem with the breathing because oxygen is quite limited inside, and another problem with the core area deep inside the tunnel is the visibility, because inside there is the dust and then the huge sound of noises by the machineries. All those are challenges created by the working environment. And now at Huanjiang County, the temperature is about 10 degrees Celsius. And yesterday when we came here, it's around the same temperature, but when we went inside the tunnel, it's about 20 degrees or even 30 degrees. We can imagine that in summer, when you go inside the core area of the tunnel, how difficult it is for our workers to stick to their work position. We also have adopted a lot of measures to cope with this environment. For example, a very strong ventilation. So that we can improve the working conditions, we also have the water spraying machinery to help us to lower the concentration of the dust. And also for the explosives used, we have also selected the better version of explosives so that the whole damage to the environment can be reduced. We have also applied some new highlights in your construction and excavation, that is the robotic arms. In the past, it's pure labor force, human labor force, but today you have the robotic arms. For example, for the excavation and also the consolidation work, the consolidation of the seating and also the walls. So, could you please give us more details? We know that for the whole excavation and construction project, there will be a lot of dust generated. If we put a human being in this kind of environment for a long period of time during the day, it's really harmful for his health, especially for his lung. So today, luckily, we have this new partner, which is the robotic arm that can help us to reduce significantly the number of personnel working inside. And another thing is that with the robotic arm is it's working really fast, it's very efficient. So we can complete a huge task within a much shorter time. And we don't have to stay inside the machine. We can hold the remote control at distance, and we just control this machinery, control this robotic arm from distance. And this is another way to help ensure the health of our workers. So one thing is that it's good for the health of the workers. Another thing is that we can speed up the whole process of the construction. It can also guarantee the completion quality of this project. Today, our country has a stronger economy. At the same time, the manufacturing industry is also growing better. We have new inventions, for example, the giant machineries, the new equipments, and more convenient installations, which can ensure the safety and also the body health of our workers on the one hand, and also to respect the timetable for the progress of this project on the other hand. So apart from this number 3 tunnel, we still have to complete 2 more tunnels, the number 4 and number 2. The total length of all the tunnels can reach more than 20,000 meters. Yes, in total, the length of all the tunnels is 24 kilometers. Number 2 tunnel is located in a place connected with the Guizhou province, and the tunnel 4 has a length of 14 kilometers. And tunnel number 4 is the longest tunnel currently in the Guangxi Zhuang autonomous region. So for the tunnel number 4, with a total length of 15 kilometers, how much time will we spend on that? For the tunnel number 4, we have divided this whole area into 4 subdivisions. The first section is of 1.4 kilometers. There's also a karst cave at the length of 3.8 kilometers. And there's another subdivision that we are drilling through from 2 direct angles. We are expect to complete this part of the tunnel by next year. And around next Labor Day, we're about to see the completion of the tunnel number 4. So compared to the time used for the tunnel number 3, which is 3 years, we can expect to see a longer time for the construction and excavation for the tunnel number 4. So for tunnel number 4, we should in total spend 4 years. And for a high-speed train to travel through this 15,000 meters of tunnel, it will take only 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So when you travel through this tunnel, It's just like a blink of eyes. However, you should imagine that behind the whole construction project, it has taken all those workers here about 4 years to complete the construction. After it's completed, it will significantly increase the convenience of people traveling around. It's also an important part of the network of the high-speed railway. It will become a new north to south corridor for the development of the Belt and Road Initiative. It is also an important pillar to support the economic development of the Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region. Once completed, the Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway would mean a lot for the neighboring provinces and also regions. For example, for the Guizhou and Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, even as far as the Chongqing municipality, all the neighboring areas would be better connected. It's also one of the important parts of this national network of transportation with 8 vertical lines and 8 horizontal lines of railways. And we also know that Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region is kind of corridor connecting China and the ASEAN countries. Once this project of Guiyang-Nanning high-speed railway is completed, we can expect to see more traveling of goods and also of people. We also would like to see in an earlier date the completion of this whole project because we know that more people would be benefited and also more goods can be rapidly transported